Welcome to the start of a brand new anime review series. This is the first of 4 videos discussing the anime Super HxEroes. Well, basically, the X is basically taking place of E. I'm not sure why, but that's basically the way it is. Now, this anime is based on a manga, just like To Love Ru is. Now, unlike To Love Ru, which lasted for a good, 40 plus episodes, this anime is only lasted for 12. Though there might be a second season, who knows. The manga, believe it or not, now the anime aired just last year. Yes, another one of these anime where they aired back in 2020. I think it's about third or fourth one, basically, I've seen where airs in 2020. How did I heard about this series? Funimation basically kind of suggested it that I check it out because they're highly promoting the series. And as far as I can tell, they were releasing this stuff dubbed from home. And I think, as far as I can tell, I believe they released all 12 episodes dubbed by now. I would think so because, well, it's only 12 episodes, unlike, let's say, Fire Force, which is 24, and they still have not finished releasing dub for that one. That wouldn't be surprising Friday if they finished releasing that one. Now, as for the manga it's based on, as of right now, it is 53 chapters. Though, here's something interesting, though. Apparently, next month, the series is going to end. Yep. After, well, it lasted over 50 chapters. I'm like, that's pretty short. Lasting just a few years, which, yeah, that's quite short for the series. The series is written by a guy by the name of Rama Kadita. Yes. Oh, and this is the cover for the first volume of the manga. I know it's Sinclair. Now, as in the case of the volumes themselves, are they available here? Not yet. The first volume, believe it or not, is going to release next month. 20 days, at least 3 weeks after the manga already ends in Japan. Why the heck would they do that? I have no idea. Though, the last volume came out just a few months ago. Yeah. There's overall 11 volumes, and I got this manga pretty quickly. Now, what's the premise of the series? Apparently, there's these bugs that show up on the planet. Yes, bugs. Alien bugs, known as sensor bugs. By the way, there is censoring here, but it's not as dumb as the one that did To Love Ru. This censoring makes sense, though at least the way they censor stuff in here, the way they censor nudity in this series, because this series has got a ton of nudity, just like To Love Ru does. But this time actually makes a lot more sense than using a freaking blinding light for no apparent reason. Though they also censor stuff basically completely censored. Now, the way they censor breast in here, and of course the woman's groin, is usually this little tiny little white dot that pops up occasionally whenever the characters appear naked. Though apparently the main character, you don't censor him, don't censor his butt for some reason. Yeah, apparently he's okay to show nude, but not the women. I have no idea why. The main character's name is Rito. Yes, Rito Enja, voiced by Matt Shippen. I've heard him in a few different anime. He sounds kind of similar to Austin Tindall. The guy's a pretty good voice actor. We also have his childhood friend, Kara, who they refer to as the Iron Maiden because, well, she's very cold to a lot of people. And apparently she doesn't like perverted stuff. Despite the fact it was new in the series when she was a little kid, she apparently was heavily into it. She was very perverted as a younger girl. She's voiced by Brittany Laruda. Does a pretty good job with her. We also have Momozuka. Now, the thing with this particular woman is, despite the fact she has a thing where she has kind of small chest than a lot of the girls, they had this thing where apparently... Now, she's voiced by Emily Knives, who does a really good job voicing her. Now, I first heard her in the series My Hero Academia voicing Ellie. Here, it sounds like it makes her sound like Jamie Marceri for some reason. Yeah, apparently when I heard her, the way she voices this character, it's a similar style that Jamie Marceri uses. It basically gives sort of a Valiant Girl type accent to a Japanese teenage girl. That's typically what Jay Marceri does, but apparently Emily Knives said, okay, copy that. Yep, there's also Sora, who reminds me of a couple of different characters from the couple of anime I've seen. She reminds me of Sunja from the Asteroid War because appearance-wise, basically a very ditzy girl, like the way she's described here, and apparently doesn't like. She's very somewhat of a sloth, though she can express emotion. It's basically similar to a few other characters I've seen in different anime. She is voiced by Mallory Rokia. There's also Mahime. Yes, and she's voiced by Kate Bristow. Yes, the interesting thing when it comes to this particular woman is, well, she attends an all-girls school. They revealed this in episode 4, believe it or not. There's also Joe Anno. They don't say in the anime that he's actually Rito's uncle, but yeah, he's Rito's uncle. Yeah. And the reason why he's part of this program, I don't mention the anime just yet, because it was recommended by his father in order to be close to his childhood friend who he's got a thing for. Yep. Also, whenever he uses his power, which apparently is in a wristwatch, though the characters have various places, he uses a wristwatch. My homie has it on her neck. Kara, of course, has it on her wrist. Sora, I think, has it on... I believe it's her leg. Yeah, I believe it's her leg. They tend to vary exactly where they put these particular wristwatch devices, which apparently these people are powered up by being erotic. No joke about that. And apparently when they use their power, their clothes get shredded. Like when Ryo uses it in the first episode, he goes completely naked. No, he does not remove his clothes. His clothes get completely destroyed. Because apparently the overwhelming power of being a pervert apparently gets you power to destroy these sensor bugs. When apparently all women. Yeah, no one points out, hey, why are these sensor bugs basically all freaking women? And they're basically typically bugs. And they got a freaking queen. So it's kind of odd, though, for the main character to beat out women, but these are bugs, so who freaking cares? So, they first start off with a flashback. Yes, a flashback, believe it or not. Where Kara and Rito basically are in the playground, and Kara wants to hold hands, just like adults do. And they don't show what happens next. They show a little bit later that a sensor bug showed up and took some of her energy. And this apparently is the reason why in present day, where she is very cold to people, and referred to as the Iron Maiden. So, oh yeah, in case you're curious, still, like how many chapters they adapt in just 4 episodes, they adapt the first 7 out of the currently released 53 chapters in just 4 episodes. The first two episodes adapt 1 chapter apiece, which this episode 1 adapts basically chapter 1, episode 2, chapter 2. For episode 3, it's basically chapters 3 through 5, and of course, basically episode 4 adapts 4 through 7. Though I think they trimmed that down by episode 5, where they're back down just 1 chapter apiece. Somewhat. I'll figure out basically when it happens. Now, whenever Sora pops up in this series, mostly she doesn't do a lot in the first few episodes. Not until like episode 4 she does something. Though they do kind of change her. Now, the first time you see her, it's right after they basically beat one of the bugs. So we have it where it's like, oh yeah, he's part of this program, or apparently all these girls live with him. I'm like, okay, a guy living with a few girls by himself with his parents around sounds very similar to Valak's Love. Yes, you're probably thinking, is this a rip off of that premise? Not really, no. It really isn't. Though in the case of that one, he was living with about 10 women, while in the case of Rito, he's living with, to start 3, and now he's living with 4. Also, apparently his uncle dresses around basically wearing shorts and a very half top, basically. That's how he dresses. I'm like, really, dude? You can't wear normal clothes? You have to look like a freak? Whatever. So, bug attack basically happens, and Rito uses his power along with Kira to destroy the bug. And then very next episode, trying to convince Kira to join the program, and they introduce the 3 girls basically. The fact, they're living with him, and when Sora pops up in the next episode, she wakes up in Rito's bed. Now you're probably thinking, did these 2 just have sex? No, she just basically just wandered through his room. Apparently she does this a lot, where she apparently sleepwalks, where she apparently comes back from the bathroom, and she just walks into the wrong room and she sleeps in the wrong bed. And she's like, "Why do you sleep in my bed for?" And he was like, "This is my room. Your room is across the hall." Though one time when she did this when Kara basically was sharing the bed with Rito. Nothing strange happened here. Though there is a change here. Because in the manga, like, apparently, like, first you have Kara like, "Oh, did Rito remove her bra when she's basically in bed with him?" Nope, it was Sora. Which, in the manga, she does something she does not do in the anime. She ends up sucking on Kira's breast by pure accident. You probably think, like, is this a hentai? No, this is not hentai. Though, if that was shown in the anime, you'd probably think this would be classified as a hentai. It's a mature anime, definitely. Don't get me wrong about that. So, yeah, that's a change, because in the anime, they just basically don't have her do it, while in the manga, she does do it. So, eventually, she agrees to live with them. So, they go off their own school, at least about, they go off their own school. They go off their own separate schools. So they brought various bugs. One bug decides to use such like, "Oh yeah, your legs are showing. I'll make your skirt longer." I'm like, really? You're going after a woman wearing a short skirt? Who the frick cares? So basically, Rito deals with that and goes straight to school. No problem, though he has to put on a new shirt because his shirt keeps getting shredded. Though sometimes basically because he goes naked, so it looks like he has a spare pair of clothes around. I'm like, how many clothes does this guy go through? Like, is he going to run out of clothes soon? Because it seems as though that's a recurring gag where he has to go naked. Yep. So, with episode 3 and 4, it's like multiple segments. Like, 3, like, okay, we have this thing where we have Momoka wants to basically enlarge her breast because she doesn't like the fact she's got smaller breasts than Kara does. So she uses soy milk on her breast. I'm like, whatever. And Rita comes home and sees that she's, well, in the bathroom because she's about to take a bathroom. And she's like, "Do you have a problem with small breasts?" He's like, "That doesn't matter to me." Which I do appreciate. That's the second anime I've come across where the main character has no problem, basically, with the breast size. I mean, they don't freaking care. Women in the anime are very, let's just say, obsessed with their breast size. Because that's a minor gag in a lot of anime I've come across. Where women with big chests get frequently groped. Like in a lot of series I've seen. Except for Naruto for some reason. Yeah, this doesn't happen in Naruto. Doesn't have One Piece. Nope, it happens in a lot of other anime I've seen. It does happen in Bleach several times. The strange thing that only happens over Hime in that series, this one happens too. Kara happens to a few women. Oh, by the way, with Sora in episode 4, she apparently it's revealed, oh yeah, she draws erotic manga. So she asks Kara to pose naked. In the anime, she's censored, but she is completely naked. In the manga, you see all the goods. Read the manga to see this full scene. So they pretty much have them like draw her while she's in the nude because apparently she found out that she draws the manga. And oh yeah, put a recorder between her chest, okay? And Rita comes in because of a censor bug attack, and he ends up falling right on top of Sora. Also, apparently, when he jumps on her, he apparently causes her top to come out to basically get pulled up by the flute and exposes her chest. Though in the anime it's censored, in the manga you actually see the full thing. Of course, he does get beat up by Kara for this, and there's that when it comes to that. Yep, I know I'm kind of jumping around, but it's quite interesting. Well, the way that because the whole thing is about majorly the big plot point is censoring. Yeah, and in episode 4, it's all about let's see. We also have it where you have episode 4. Most talks about Momoka, where she is attending her all-girls school. Her best friend is basically curious what the heck she's up to. I think it's her best friend, though. It could be her girlfriend, because they actually have another episode. I think it's 3, where, oh yeah, these censor bugs apparently are basically going as far as being underwear thieves by stealing girls' panties. So after Rito takes back the panties that were taken after destroying one of the bugs, he's accused of being the underwear thief, but Kara's like, nope, he's not the underwear thief. The underwear thief were out that way, but he did manage to recover your panties. And she's like, oh, thank you. And then Kara's like, hey, can I talk to you? And of course, they go underwear shopping. And of course, well, the girl who got her underwear taken, apparently she's going on a date. And they reveal her date after the shopping thing, which I thought was quite funny. Though they actually with the ending of chapter 3 to during the end of chapter 4 in the anime. Also, they cut out the scene of Kira talking to her mother, which that was from chapter 4, and they cut that out from the anime for some reason. I don't know why, but they did. So they reveal who her date is, this woman, and it's a female classmate, which in the manga, like, oh, hi, senpai. And that's just in the manga, and in the anime, like, oh, hi, darling. Have you kept waiting long? And then the other one was like, oh. Yep, and they revealed that, yep, she is in fact a lesbian. Yep, because her date is a woman. Which, nothing against people who basically want to do that particular way. But it's the first anime I've seen basically where we have a character who's like that, who's an actual lesbian, who actually has a relationship. Because when they've had lesbians pop up in another anime, usually it's just a woman who just happens to be a lesbian, who just happily looking for another woman, though not in a relationship with another woman currently during the course of the anime. This is the first I've seen that actually has done that. Though it's implied that in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid that Toru has thanked for Kobayashi. Yeah, it's been basically stated in the series she's got to thank for Kobayashi. Kobayashi herself, it's hinted she eventually does feel feelings for her, but it's not like it's basically just a side character, not the main character. Yep. Let's see what else. Mostly put, with the exception of some of the minor cuts and censoring. Oh yeah, and also they have this thing where Momoka, when she wakes up, where apparently the dog, yeah, there's a dog lives. Apparently the dog is a pervert. Yes, a perverted dog. I have never seen this anime before, where this dog basically wakes Momoka by basically licking her belly. Yep, that's seriously what happens. Yep. I'm trying to think. Well, aside from being some bugs, it's a recurring thing like, oh yeah, let's show off the girls basically complete naked. Also, when they ends Momoku defeats one of the monsters, who apparently the power is to, whenever she takes power, she turns people into tentacles. Okay, and after the monster's destroyed, everyone's destroyed normal. Rita runs away because he's naked, and all the girls basically, and then the friend of hers who's got blue hair, like, I don't know who this woman is, but basically her voice actor sounds like, from Agna, I wouldn't be surprised if this is her. Yeah, because basically this woman's also known for voicing Carla from Fairy Tail. Well, no, it's a good series overall to start with, and though episode 4 ends with Carla being captured, though they do kind of make a slight change, basically where, like, Sora's favorite bookstore is attacked by one of the bugs, who apparently, okay, so get porn. Like, have these bugs eat up a bunch of porn. Okay. And, like, they feed the bugs, and then Kara gets captured by the store manager, who was revealed to be working with the sensor bugs. Though they kind of changed the angle, basically, when they knock her out, they basically inject her. In the manga, it's actually just a little bit lower, most closer to the shoulder. In the anime, it's a little bit higher. I'm not sure why they changed that form. Like, really, it's something that simple. Also, the needle's more straight in the anime than in the manga, where it's like tilted. In the anime, it's like straight. In manga, it's like this. That's how they do it, anyways. But all in all, pretty good set of episodes, and can't wait to discuss episodes 5 through 8. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. My next review will be a comment corner, and then eventually I'm going to do 2 more videos talking about the second episode of the second half of ReZero, and of course, the return of 7 Deadly Sins. Okay? See you in the next video. Bye.